o'clock on the East Coast. It is 5 o'clock on the West Coast. It is the 11th of December in the year of our Lord 2024. Season 15, episode 22, 691 times you have been welcome to the Clubhouse Podcast, your one-stop shop for all things sports, entertainment, pop culture, and pro wrestling. Welcome. My name is Rob. I am the executive producer of the Clubhouse Podcast. And if I sound a little raspy, it's because I'm kind of fighting something off, but I'm hoping we'll be okay by this weekend. Alex out on assignment this week, but you see him over there. He is the official fact checker of Sooner or Gator Productions, and a man whose shirt reflects about half of the mugs I have in my house because I've been using them to drink tea.
Well,
you may know him as Nick, but his mama named him Don Ford. I'm going to call him Don Ford. Hey, man.
First off, I hope you feel better.
I'm getting there, brother. Got to be ready for Saturday night.
I do have a question. You know, there's a big holiday, Carl, coming up, Arbor Day, and people are prepping for it. Just kidding. No, but I know you have a certain movies you have to watch list. How many of those have you watched so far in this season?
Zero.
No.
Been a little busy, dude. Been a little busy.
Not one of them yet.
Trying to keep up with everything. I might do something next weekend, but this weekend I'm just packed out. So,
yeah.
Because Saturday night, Grace is sending live at Round Penn Cowboy Church in Terrell. We're going to get that done one way or another.
But how many is on your list? Do you remember off the top? 5?
I mean, I got A Christmas Story, Charlie Brown Christmas. Yeah. Those are the two majors.
Okay.
Hold on. We have a guest, Dawn.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh.
Adding to the stage right now, joining us live, the man right here on Sunset Lounge DFW, Beer 30 Sports O'Clock. Ziggy, what's going on, brother?
What's up, man? What's up? Sorry, I was trying to figure this thing out. I'm a little used to like Riverside, and I was like, "What the hell?" All right,
yeah,
so I got
to okay. Family show. First of all, family show.
Okay, that was gonna be my second question. Can I show what I'm opening, and can I cuss?
You can have a beer. That's fine. It's just family show from the language standpoint. You're good, brother. So before we dive in, Don and I were just talking about holiday movies you watch every year. Tell everybody about your show. We're gonna say right off the bat.
Okay, so my show is about beer, sports, and not from necessarily an analytical standpoint. Although I do know my stats a little bit, but I talk trash. I talk barbershop sports talk basically, and I'm also a craft beer connoisseur. So literally trying craft beer the entire show. And going on a journey to find some of the best craft beer in the country. So that's what I do. That's what the show.
Don, what you got?
Cousin owns a brewery in Colorado. If you're ever going Colorado way,
I love Colorado.
At the ski resort.
Yeah.
You got to talk because I'll set you up with him, and you guys would be like best buds up there.
No, I love Denver. I was stationed up there, so I love Denver.
Yeah. So you'd have to with my cousin Jason. They call him Cuz. You guys would be nuts together. So trust me, you love the guy. And you guys could talk beer for 24 hours straight and still not get done. So
that's what's up. That's what's up.
All right, boys, let's get right into it. This is our bowl pick show. It's going to take up a majority of the show. If there's anything left over, I got other stuff, but I ain't worried about that. But let's dive into what's going to happen this weekend first, Ziggy. I'm glad you're here.
Thank
you for the Heisman. And part of me is surprised Shedeur Sanders not on that list, but the other part of me not. Travis Hunter, absolutely. That kid's a generational talent. I don't know, like he wants to play both sides of the ball in the NFL. Let's tap the brake on that a little bit. But I like this kid from Boise State, too, running all over creation. What are your thoughts about going into this weekend?
So first off, I don't think Shedeur from a standpoint belongs in the Heisman finalists. I like Shedeur. Let me preface that. I really like the Sanders family, Colorado. I like what Deion has done. He's turned Colorado into a name that we can all respect in football. He did the same with Jackson State. Granted, he left Jackson State kind of, but they ended up winning, I believe, SWAC conference after he left and everything like that. So they're back good. So at any rate, I just don't think Shedeur had any Heisman wow moments. I feel like, yes, the numbers are there, but if you want to be real, so is the running back from Arizona State. his numbers are up there too. He could have been a finalist if we're only looking for the numbers. Everybody in the Heisman who has a vote. Everybody, they've always picked the guys that show the Heisman moments along with the stats. And stats are not the only thing. You have to have the wow, just like, how did he do that? And Shedeur, unfortunately, this year, Shedeur has just not done it. Not to say he's not a great player, not to say he's not going to be a top 5 draft pick, because we all know that's coming. But Heisman finalists, Dylan, honestly, I didn't feel like deserved to be on there either, but that's a whole nother.
Who's your front runner right now?
So you asked me on Monday, I might say Ashton Jeanty. You asked me on Tuesday, I might go Travis Hunter. Honestly, like you said, Travis Hunter's a generational talent. Like, he literally plays on both sides of the ball and finished in the top 5 on both sides, or top 10 on both sides. Nobody's doing that. Nobody is doing that in college football, and nobody has done that in college football that I can think of in quite some time, maybe at all. But Ashton Jeanty, you cannot deny his greatness. As far as, literally, he said it the other day, I think in an interview, somebody asked him, like, what do you think about the Heisman finalists? And he was like, look, every week they game plan for me, and every week I still ran over 100 and something yards.
Yeah, he did.
Oh my God, that's the hardest line.
Does the lack of national coverage for Jeanty hurt him in comparison to Travis Hunter? Because when your coach is Deion Sanders, you're going to get national coverage every week. If you're not somebody who watches SportsCenter or pays attention to the stats, you might not know who Ashton Jeanty is. With the voters being who they are, does that hurt him?
I don't think it hurts him, because you got to look at it too. Who's in the playoffs and who's not, right? Jeanty has the upper hand on that. They both play on the West Coast, so they both play late. They both play, later games. If you look at most of Boise State's games, they're at night. Most of Colorado's games were at night. But at the end of the day, the coverage, the media coverage has changed as far as what we used to know, as far as the ESPNs and all stuff like that. Social media has made Jeanty a household name. He looked like the Michael Myers from Jason standing in the backfield, and that meme went viral. So I think even with the voters, they have to look at that too. I think a lot of voters just know it's just really splitting hairs, like whether you think that the running back should finally get the recognition, or if you think Travis Hunter, because of the generational talent that he is, he should get the recognition. And it's honestly, from what I see, it's 50-50. Like, a lot of people have been like, you have the Travis lovers, you have the Travis haters, you have the Ashton lovers, and you have the Ashton haters. And it is what it is. So,
well, we're going to know Saturday night live from New York how that all works out, and we'll be keeping an eye on that. I will probably have to look later. Don, what you got?
Actually, I'm going to be kind of different on this. I think that Gabriel has a shot since what he did with Oregon this year.
Number 1 team in the country.
Yeah, I mean, they're the number 1 team, and that gives a lot of thing. But I would like to see, Boise. No one from Boise ever won it, and I'm, me being from Montana next to Idaho, I always like Boise State. I would say Gabriel, if I had to pick in Vegas, Gabriel wins it, but I would like to see Jeanty as a kind of the heart pick.
My mom got married in a chapel in the parking lot of the Boise State Stadium, so I can't really complain. But we're going to find out Saturday. Let's get into bowl picks, and go to ESPN.com. Look up the Clubhouse Podcast on bowl picks. We are giving away prizes if you can beat us. My picks are in. Alex's picks are in. Don's picks will be in, because we're only 3 days from the first bowl game.
We are. That's so crazy.
5 straight weeks of college bowls, the most ever, because we have the new 12-team playoff system, which we'll get into that as we go. All the times I'm about to give you are on Central Time. So if you live in the Central Time Zone, just do the math. I ain't got time. So Saturday morning at 11, our very first bowl game of the year is the Cricket Celebration Bowl from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, where Don has been. Jackson State versus South Carolina State. Don, who you got?
Carolina.
All right, Ziggy, what you got? This is straight up, not against points or anything.
This is what? I'm sorry.
Straight up, not against the point spread.
Oh yeah, I got you. Not against the spread. Honestly, I got Jackson State. I think Jackson State. They won their was it SWAC, I believe. And watching that game, I was actually thoroughly impressed with them. So I think South Carolina State's going to have their hands full. And Jackson State fan base, they travel well. I got a few friends that are alumni, and they travel absolutely well. That place is going to be rocking.
I will tell you this, Jackson State bouncing back as quickly as they did after Dion left is impressive. I'm still not fully sold. Alex and I both have South Carolina State on this. 8 o'clock in the evening Central on Saturday. By the way, that game at 11 a.m. is on your ABC affiliate. Unless I say otherwise, it's ESPN. ESPN on Saturday night at 8 o'clock. It will be the IS4S Salute to Veterans Bowl from the Crampton Bowl in Montgomery, Alabama. The University of South Alabama takes on Western Michigan. Ziggy, will go to you.
God, that's tough. I'm gonna go South Alabama. I think Western Michigan they limped in the second half of the season. They limped into this bowl game, and I think South Alabama actually has been on a roll. They've been on a roll from what I've seen on the second half of the season.
Don, who you got?
Even though Alabama isn't on the home front there, I'm going to say Western Michigan.
Well, you are the only dissenter there, as Alex and I both have South Alabama in that game.
Okay.
Of course, we're not having any bowl games on Sunday because who's going to compete with the NFL on Sunday or Monday?
Nobody.
Tuesday night, 9 o'clock on the ESPN is the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. For those of you that don't have a Scooters Coffee near you, these are very small photo hut-sized drive-thrus. There's one right up the street from the house. From Toyota Stadium in Frisco, Texas, also right up the street from the house. Beautiful facility that's getting a facelift in the next couple of years. We have West Virginia versus Memphis. Don, we go to you.
You know what? I'm going to say West Virginia. They have that history, I think. Over Memphis, I'd say West Virginia.
Ziggy, what you
got? Man, honestly, I like Memphis. I like Memphis in this. West Virginia just hasn't looked like West Virginia we're used to. I think it's the quarterback. If he's playing, I'm definitely I might bet some money on them from Memphis on that one.
And for those of you that don't know, that's actually part of Ziggy's show is he's going to give you betting lines and tell you things like that too. That's how you and Alex get along like two peas in a pod.
Yeah.
Wish he was here. He's out on assignment tonight. We're actually split down the middle. I'm going with West Virginia. When I think Memphis, I think basketball and my Pat McAfee bias. That's all I'm saying. All right. 18th December, 4:30 in the afternoon on the ESPN, the Boca Raton Bowl from Alex's alma mater at FAU Stadium in Boca Raton, Florida. I actually graduated high school in their gym. Western Kentucky takes on James Madison. Ziggy, we're to you.
I'm going James Madison, man. Listen, they put up 70 points on UNC, and they've been rolling ever since. And honestly, listen, I've seen Western Kentucky. Actually, Western Kentucky lost me money, so I'm probably biased on them right now. So, but we're going James Madison to beat them in Boca Raton.
I just heard from Alex, and he is picking Travis Hunter for the Heisman, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Don, go ahead.
Well, I told you to split.
Okay, I'm gonna do Madison on this one. James Madison.
Smart man.
That's a clean sweep. We've all got James Madison. If you ask any of us 5 years ago who's James Madison, and we're like, that's a president, right? Like, that's as far as it goes. There's another school that can thank basketball for where they are because that's the beauty of the tournament. I'm checking on something real quick here because okay, hold on. I didn't bring up the buttons. Hold on. Because we do have breaking news. As of about an hour ago, Bill Belichick has signed the contract to coach the University of North Carolina. 3 years, $30 million.
What?
That's the deal. Well, it's only 3 years. Which
That's
with the transfer portal, it's not like you
bogus. Listen, I don't know what's wrong.
Mac Jones to Bill Belichick.
I don't know what's wrong with UNC. To be honest, they have a type. Listen, UNC, stay away from the old man. Stay away from old coaches. It hasn't worked out. Mac absolutely embarrassed himself. Mac lost credibility as far as a coach now because of his lackluster performance that he did as a coach there. And now we're going to do the same with some and their kids aren't listening to the old regime. You didn't win when Tom Brady left. So you ain't got that respect anymore. If you would, he should have done this once Tom Brady left. He should have left and retired and then came back and did this. Then we would have the ooh. Now it's like, look, I respect your analyst takes.
I love his work on Inside the NFL. I think he's doing
right.
He's still a little deadpan for me, but he's doing good work.
Right.
I don't think his last 3
years. He's doing better than
this
Tom.
Gets to the third year, I'll be shocked.
Yeah. Yeah.
If he's going to learn real quick, it's a different game, especially college.
It is. And even if they're getting paid and stuff like that, he doesn't. I don't know why UNC keeps doing this though. Like they just keep trying to bring back that old flame, and it's like this is such a toxic relationship. Leave it alone.
It always amazes me that rivalry with Duke actually started in football.
Oh, yeah.
If you have not seen the Tobacco Road documentary, do yourself a solid. It's fantastic. Don, you got any thoughts here?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Him always being the NFL and going to something different to the college, he could get in there and love it. He might get in there and just love it and say, you know what? How come I didn't get into college
I don't think
years
you
ago?
house money on that, sir. I just don't.
But I'd be willing to bet. I'd be willing to bet you on that, Don. I'd be willing to take the opposite on that one.
But again, now, of course, where would he go to Dallas? You know how long he would last in Dallas with Jerry.
You know what's funny is that
Jerry are like BFFs, though.
Yeah, right. But also, what's funny is everybody's been talking about it in New York. I'm originally from New York, and I have a couple Giants fans and whatever out there, and they all say this is just a preliminary thing to get it back into coaching for the Giants.
The other thing I have heard is part of the deal here is he's going to groom his son to be the heir apparent at UNC afterwards.
But I just found out his daughter, though, is the actual beast. She's coaching the women's lacrosse team. I forget what college it is now. And she's like won a championship. She's the beast. Now, if she was taking over, I would say, all right, UNC, you did right. But the son ain't doing nothing. He just riding coattails.
I love lacrosse. It's the only sport where it's legal to hit your opponent with a stick, and I'm here for it. All right, that was breaking news. Let's get back to it. 8:00 p.m. Standard Time on the S-Spin on the 18th of December, 1 week before Christmas. The Art of Sport LA Bowl hosted by Gronk from SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, always up to no good. Cal and UNLV. Don, I believe you've got honors right now.
I'm going to take UNLV on this.
All right.
I just see, they've been known for basketball, but let's get them one little bowl win.
Oh, they've done some good things in football.
Yeah.
Ziggy, what you got?
So this is probably one of my favorite games, the bowl games, besides obviously the OU bowl.
Well, this was the one last year that was hosted by Jimmy Kimmel, right?
Right. So this one, first off, Cal and UNLV playing in Inglewood is absolutely amazing. That another stadium that's going to be rocking because UNLV fans travel as well, especially on the West Coast.
That's only like a 45-minute flight for them.
Right. Like the drive is not far either. So it's like it's
5 hours, I think.
Yeah, I was about to say. So I mean, all right. So look, Cal's quarterback didn't play against SMU. So I think everybody's kind of confused how good Cal really is. If the quarterback from Cal is playing, my money's on Cal. Absolutely riding with Cal because they have their team changes with him in there. They ran up with Miami. They ran up with I believe it was not Boise, BYU. No. Anyway, Cal. I'm taking Cal.
You're the only one that is. The rest of us are taking
UNLV. Unless the quarterback is not playing. If the quarterback's not playing,
One of my favorite things about SoFi was I don't know if it was SoFi or if it's the new Clippers arena. Bomani Jones said if they hadn't gotten the land deal, they were going to turn it into a Walmart. And Bomani Jones said, "Can you imagine the people watching at a Walmart in Inglewood?" I'm like, I'm here for it. I'm here for it. ESPN2 on December 19th at 6 o'clock, the R&L Carriers New Orleans Bowl from Caesars Superdome. Georgia Southern and Sam Houston. Ziggy, I believe you have honors.
This one's kind of tough. Sam Houston is pretty good. I've won some money on them, and Georgia Southern the same. So I'm going Sam Houston. I just like their run defense to go against to Georgia Southern's running. I'm taking Sam Houston.
Don,
you go Georgia Southern on this. I think there's just a tougher team.
Alex and I both also agree with you, Georgia Southern. By the way, something about Georgia Southern, they actually have the owner's rights to Turner Field, the old Brave Stadium.
Oh, really?
Has a Waffle House in it. No, it's Georgia State, I think. One of the two.
Yeah, I was going to say, Georgia. I think it's Georgia State. I think I know what you're talking about. I saw that on a social media post somewhere. I don't know.
We go to the 20th of December next Friday, 11 a.m. on the ESPN, the Staff DNA Cure Bowl from Camping World Stadium in Orlando. Ohio and Jacksonville State. Don.
Well, I think this will be a close game compared to some other ones. I think my Jacksonville Jaguars kill me this year, but I still go for them. So, do you know what? Maybe they'll do good in college. So I'm going Jacksonville on this one.
He's riding that Jacksonville Jaguars train, Ziggy. I don't know why. He just is.
I never gave up.
Hey, look, Houston is injured. Y'all got a shot, baby. I mean, Mac Jones to the playoffs. That's gonna be.
Lord have mercy. I knew this thing.
Y'all are out. Listen, it's essentially a home game for Jacksonville State, but I think Ohio has too much firepower. I think Ohio's gonna take this and they're gonna take this pretty handily.
I think Alex took Jacksonville State because he hates the state of Ohio. But I went the other way. Somebody in that state's got to win something.
Yeah.
Hey, don't be all right. We're gonna talk about the playoffs, but don't be surprised about Ohio State. Don't be surprised. They're going there. Don't be surprised.
2:30 p.m. Central on December 20th. Also on the ESPN, the Union Home Mortgage Gasparilla Bowl from Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. My beloved Gators take on the Green Wave of Tulane. Ziggy.
This ain't even fair. I'm sorry. Did we watch Tulane against Army? I watched that game. Tulane looks done. Their kicker doesn't want to kick. Their wide receivers don't want to catch. Their running back barely wants to run. I'm taking Florida. Matter of fact, I'm taking Florida, and I might take the over because this is going to be an absolute Lagway is going to have an absolute – he's going to put the Heisman candidates on notice to get out of college football because this is the game that I'm putting my flag, no puns intended, on the field to let y'all know I'm going to win this and win this crazy. So,
and as we know, Alex's rule for bowl games, always bet the over.
Yes. Yeah.
Don.
I think this will be a clobbering. Florida's going to slap them around.
That is a clean sweep.
This won't be close.
I'm not going to say it's going to be a clobbering because I watch Florida and we're struggling and we have been for a few years.
I watch Florida too.
I don't know what it's going to take to get back on the upside of the cycle because we are bad. But we got bowl eligible. We had some strong wins at the end of the year. I'm happy. Your primetime game on the 20th at 7 o'clock on both ABC and ESPN. Will be the first round game of the playoffs. We're going to save the semifinals and the final for later when Alex is with us. But we'll go to the first round games from Notre Dame Stadium in South Bend, where I have been. I watched them play San Diego State once. It's a beautiful stadium. And I saw a touchdown Jesus. We have the battle for Indiana as the Hoosiers in the playoffs. Go back 6 months and tell yourself that, and you tell yourself you're a big, fat, dirty liar. Takes on the University of Notre Dame. Don.
I got to go Notre Dame on this one.
Ziggy?
I don't think there's no way Notre Dame's going to lose this game at all.
I despise Notre Dame. I'm not going to lie. I despise Notre Dame. I hate the fact that they're not in a conference. This doesn't make sense. They shouldn't even be allowed. They should be treated like Army and Navy. I'm sorry.
They should be in the Big Ten, in my opinion. I've said this for years.
Facts.
That's where all their rivals are.
And if they were in the Big Ten, they would not even be in the conversation. So I'm taking Indiana to surprise and shock the world and send them home. They're going to be in Big Ben, so it'll be a short trip.
Well, you're the lone dissenter in that one.
Yeah.
Notre Dame at home, like I said, I've been there. There's an electricity around that stadium, and this being a playoff game, they have a cool little sports bar in the parking lot too. There's just something about Notre Dame that they tend to play above their level when it matters, especially this year. There are certain games that they should not have escaped with and did. But Indiana is a team that definitely shocked the world this year. But I think it's midnight Cinderella. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's go to next Saturday, December 21st, 11 a.m. This game and the next game both on TNT this year. As we go to the next first round game from Beaver Stadium in University Park, Pennsylvania, SMU and Penn State. Ziggy.
Listen, my cousin plays for SMU. I've bet against them on several occasions and covered. I just don't trust James Franco or whatever his name, James, the coach for Penn State. I think that SMU should be higher if they would have gotten themselves together in that first quarter of the ACC championship game. There's a possibility they would have handled Clemson. I'm taking SMU. I don't think Penn State is that good. I think that Penn State is actually, they limped into this, and because they play in the Big Ten and they beat up on a bunch of bad teams. I don't see Penn State. James blows bad. He blows big games. James blowing big games is his nickname in my phone. So,
Don.
Actually, I disagree. I think, and don't get me wrong, I think that's great that SMU is back in all this stuff and they're trying to turn it around. I just think that Penn State's tougher this year.
That splits us down the middle. Alex has Penn State. I'm taking SMU. SMU feels like they've got something to prove right now.
They do.
When you enter a new conference and go, don't pay us for the first 5 years. Okay. Like, that's insane.
That's tough talk. Yes.
That's like, let us prove who we are. And you know what? When you do that and you make the playoff in that first year, it's about to get real down there in Highland Park. Or no, that's University Park, wherever that is.
It's Highland Park. You had it right.
The bougie section of Dallas. It's about to go down. Actually, it's in Penn State. I screwed the whole thing up. How are you going to be Sydney Lions and it's called Beaver Stadium? That confuses me. 3 o'clock on TNT on the 21st from Darrell Royal Memorial Stadium in Austin, Texas. Clemson goes into one of the most hostile stadiums in college football. Two of my top 10 are in this state because A&M's just as hostile. Clemson, Texas. Don.
Texas.
Not even burying the lead. Let's go for it.
No, I think
you fell out of the picture. I'm like, what happened to Ziggy?
No. I want you to see the background.
Oh, yeah. But you also understand that's why that game has to be played here. You can't play that game home and away.
Yeah. So here's the thing, right? It's kind of the same thing I think for James. I think about Shark. Excuse me. There's no way they should have lost that game against Georgia. Georgia was limped. They didn't have
Carson. Have the over in that game.
You said what?
Sucks to have the over in that game.
Yeah, that game was I think the over-under on that was like 47 or 40. No, it was 50 something. I don't know. But that game was absolutely terrible. But On the other side of that, Dabo, I think, is probably one of the best big game coaches out there. Kind of like what you said about Notre Dame. They play above their level in big games. It pains me to say this. I just think Texas has a little more firepower than Clemson. God,
that's a clean sweep. Like I'm like you, ABT. Yeah. But number one, there's points on the line for me. Number two, Texas showed me. Texas and Oklahoma both came into the SEC with no fear, and I can't hate on that.
Yeah,
it's like this is what I have wanted for years, because I've said, as long as I've been a fan, the SEC in football is the most complete conference in college football. They're not always the best, but they're the most.
We're gonna argue. But
they've been complete, because I've said you could take our 12 and 12 of somebody else and line them up. We're not going to win every game, but we're going to win most of them. Now, with the additions of these new teams, nobody can touch the SEC. You just can't. Now, there's one team that will, and we'll get to that when we get there. But right now, the SEC is on fire, and I'm happy about it. Your last first-round game on the 21st, which will be on ABC and ESPN again from the Horseshoe, Tennessee, Ohio State. Ziggy.
Listen, Ryan Day has repeatedly been toppled by Michigan and repeatedly beat or cannot do good against top 5, I think it is, teams, but Tennessee is not a top 5 team. Tennessee is a top 10 team, yes, but Tennessee, I think, is going to prove that the SEC may be a little stronger than we think. Although I argue that point. But I'm going to go Tennessee here. I think Tennessee comes in and does what they're supposed to do and go from there.
Don, what you got?
Just think that Ohio's going to be too tough on this, because they're always in the title hunting thing. I think, don't be wrong, it's not going to be a blowout of 42-12. No. But I just think in the end, Ohio State thinks that they had a couple mistakes on them. They want to make up for it and say, "Hey, we deserve to be in here. We're in here, and you know what? We're just going to keep on winning to go."
You are the lone dissenter, because Tennessee is a team that I think they've learned the lessons that they fell on early on this season, and they understand that the fact that they have the word playoff next to their name is nothing short of a blessing, because there are some teams on the outside looking in that the argument could be made, but Ohio State is not playing consistent enough. They're not the Ohio State we know. One of my best friends is a huge Ohio State fan, and he is madder than a wet hen at the way that team has played this year, and rightfully so.
He is. Wait. What's that saying? What was that?
Madder than a wet hen. That's my mother used to say that.
Wait, so the over/under is 47.5. Would you do the over or the under on that one?
Every bowl game, take the over.
The over 47. You take on 47.5.
47.5. Yeah, I think it's gonna be like a 20. I think it's gonna be like a 27-20 or 27-30. 36 kind of game. I think both of these offenses can score. I think that the biggest thing is it's going to come down, like you said, the inconsistency or the consistency of the defense or special teams. I don't think the offenses are going to have that much of a problem.
Christmas Eve. Both bowl games will be during the day because, again, nobody wants to compete with Monday Night Football. Both on the ESPN, 10 a.m. Central, the Myrtle Beach Bowl from Brooks Stadium in Conway, South Carolina. We have Coastal Carolina and the Roadrunners of Texas, San Antonio. Don.
I always love the Roadrunners thing every year. I'm going to just because I always like the Roadrunners. I don't know either team, but the Roadrunners sound fun. I'm going to pick them.
Meet.
Exactly.
Ziggy, what you got?
Listen, and essentially a home game for Coastal Carolina. UTSA plays bad away from the house. They play very bad. They're like, I think they're like 1-7 or 1-6 or something. It's at 5. It's crazy. I'm taking Coastal Carolina to stomp out the Birds.
You and I both. Coastal Carolina is a team that, like you said, it's in their backyard, and they're just waiting for basketball too. Like them in East Carolina. Just let us get to the hardwood. 1:30 in the afternoon, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl from Albertson Stadium in Boise, Idaho. Northern Illinois and Fresno State. Ziggy.
Listen, they haven't looked that great, Northern Illinois, since that win versus the Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and honestly, I like the coach. I've been on record to say he might be able to replace the OU coach, but I think I'm going to take Northern Illinois. Yeah, I'm going to take Northern Illinois. This one's kind of a toss-up, honestly. Fresno State's not good either.
I'd take that one. I'd take the Northern Illinois, too.
I'm going the other way.
Yeah.
West Coast. And Fresno State's due for some kind of shine because they haven't had it in a long time.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I was shocked they made the bowl.
It's the Boise Bowl, Beautiful section of country, don't get me wrong. Christmas Eve, 7:00 on the ESPN, the Hawaii Bowl from Clarence T.C. Ching Athletics Complex in Honolulu. My South Florida Bulls take on San Jose State. Don.
I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the Spartans on this one.
All right. Ziggy?
I think I'm going to agree with Don on this one. I just don't trust South Florida. They last time I saw them, they were fighting on the sidelines with each other. I don't know. I just don't trust them. So I'm going the opposite direction. I'm going San Jose. Technically, is Hawaii on the West Coast? It's technically on the West Coast, right?
It's like on its own coast. It is a coast.
Yeah.
I can't pick against my Bulls. I still don't know where they're going to put that stadium because that campus is packed full of buildings. They're going to have to put it across power somewhere because, yeah. I'm looking forward to them having their own stadium. Don't get me wrong. I love that. I mean, I do love that they're playing at Raymond James, but it's just weird to see the pirate flag painted white. It's weird for me. All right.
On this one here, though, over under 62.5. Would you still take the over on 62?
I can't go back on my thing, Don. I'm sticking with it.
I'm asking Ziggy.
62.5.
On Florida,
so the San Jose. Hold on, I'm sorry. I don't know. So I know San Jose State a little bit, but I don't know them that well. I don't even remember if they've even hit like something like that. Well, I might take the over. I'm looking at their schedule. I might take the over. Their lowest scoring games have been about 10 points, but the other team scored about 30 to 40 points. And I don't think, no offense to South Florida, they're not that great of a defensive team. So, this might be an over.
I need to go through and get all the over-unders tomorrow before these things start so we can see how that goes. On Boxing Day, 1:00 on the ESPN, the Game Above Sports Bowl from Ford Field in Detroit. Pitt takes on Toledo. Don.
Take my Pitt Panthers. You know that one. There's no, you know that.
Alex went to Pitt too, so. Ziggy, go ahead.
I have to agree, Pitt. Listen, Toledo, I've won too many bets against them, so I'm going Pitt.
In a strange twist of fate, Alex did not take Pitt.
What?
Really? Yeah, and that's his alma mater. Or one of them. That 4:30 p.m., the Rate Bowl from Chase Field in Phoenix, Arizona. Rutgers takes on Kansas State. Ziggy.
I think I'm going to go Kansas State. I've watched Kansas State all year. I used to be OU was in the Big 12, so keep up with the Big 12. I think Rutgers they don't travel well. Rutgers doesn't travel very well to the West Coast, and this is in Phoenix. So I'm going to take Kansas State.
Don, what you got?
Same thing on that one.
That's actually a complete sweep. All of us have Kansas.
Rutgers just doesn't travel well. They go out to the West Coast and they just flop bad, and it's so weird. Huh?
And it's New Jersey,
Right, but that's what I'm saying. They go to the West Coast. Yeah, that's true.
I'm just saying in general, it's New Jersey.
Yeah.
Plus, they ruined South Florida's day. The one time we got to number 2, they ruined our day. That was the year that the number 2 chain lost every week for like 6 weeks straight. South Florida was one of those that got victimized by that. Your primetime game on Boxing Day is the 68 Ventures Bowl from Hancock Whitney Stadium in Mobile, Alabama. Arkansas State takes on Bowling Green. And yes, this is football. Ziggy.
I like how you prefaced that, but I mean, Bowling Green is decent. I like Bowling Green. I'm going to take Bowling Green against Arkansas State. I just don't think that Arkansas State, they haven't shown me much this season. So I'm going not Boise State.
Bowling Green.
Yeah, Bowling Green. There you go.
Right.
I want some money with Bowling Green.
Don, what you got?
Same thing. I agree. Bowling Green on this.
I'm going the other way. And the only reason I'm going the other way is to shout out a good buddy of mine who used to work at Arkansas State. Shout out, Mikey.
You can't see. I'm glad this isn't a betting show. I'm glad this isn't a betting show because, like, you can't bet emotional, And I've already made 2-3 emotional decisions, and because
okay. So these next 2 we still don't have a start time for. I don't know why. We just don't. This is as of yesterday. We didn't have a start time on these 2. We start staying local, the Lockheed Martin Armed Forces Bowl. I have been to this bowl a handful of times, and it is a ton of fun from Amon G. Carter Stadium in Fort Worth. However, I hate getting in and out of there. We have Navy and Ziggy's beloved Sooners. Don.
Oh, I got to do the Sooners on this one. I love the military, but no, I think Oklahoma's – they have to do something this year.
All right, Ziggy, harder head.
Listen, come on, man. What kind of person would I be to go against but look at the side behind me. Listen, OU is not only going to win this game, they're going to actually make a statement with this game because 1, they figured out their running back. 2, the quarterback, he's okay. I will actually be at this game too. So I'm
going back and forth. I don't know if I will. I want to, but number 1, I need to know when it starts.
Can I tell?
If you've got it, tell me because I can't find it.
It's at noon. It's at noon on Friday. So yeah, I'll be there. I'm hoping to get one of my cousins to go. One of my cousins played for OU. So I'm hoping he kind of like alumni's and gets me in the locker room to talk crazy to some of the players and get them hyped up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. And for those of you that may have never been to this bowl, it's kind of cool. At halftime, they bring a bunch of recruits onto the field and they get sworn in on the field at halftime of the game for every branch.
For every branch.
Every branch, all 5.
Which is kind of cool.
Yeah, and they have a big to do in the parking lot for pregame, and it's a great time. That bowl is a great time.
Good. It'll be on tailgate.
Yeah, more often than not, it's freezing cold that day for some reason. Drops out of nowhere, but still. I'm actually going the other way. I have a policy when it comes to bowl picks. I can't pick against the Service Academy. And a very, very good buddy of mine played at Navy that I graduated with. And watching Army and Navy this year I really was hoping they both would have run the table going into Saturday just for history. And that game's going to be here before too much longer. Jerry's going to write the check. Because that game for every year.
Yeah.
The other game I don't have a start time for, and Ziggy, if you do, let me know. The Birmingham Bowl from Protective Stadium in Birmingham, Alabama. Vandy takes on Georgia Tech. Don.
I'm going to have to do – I'm going to take Vandy. It'll be close, but I think Vandy.
Ziggy,
I'm on ESPN right now looking at it. ESPN has it at 3:30. No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry. They're doing Eastern time. So I
So,
take that
so
back.
the Armed Forces at 11 a.m.?
Yeah, Armed Forces at 11 a.m. Georgia Tech Vandy is 2:30. I'm sorry. You've been saying
Oh,
Central
you're
this
good.
whole time.
You're
My
good.
brain didn't even calculate. Um, uh, so listen, I think we've all been delusional about Vandy. I think Vandy is what Vandy is. They're still the little brother in the SEC. Georgia Tech, if we want to be real, has had Georgia on the ropes. Technically, on some missed flags, could have beat Georgia, beat Miami, and has taken everybody to the cleaners every single game they play. Georgia Tech plays very tough football. I'm going Georgia Tech. Although Vandy, this is almost there's going to be a lot of fans for Vandy there, so this is almost going to be a Vandy travels well. They are like diehard. They're like worse than the Bills Mafia. Like they are just absolute. They love their team. So, but Georgia Tech is not scared, and they will play. I think Georgia Tech wins this game.
I have an old boss that went to Vandy, and every time he would say he went to an Ivy League school, I was like, no, you're in the SEC. You went to Vandy. They actually have a chant at Vanderbilt that you may have won the game today, but you'll all work for us someday. That's their chant.
That's insane.
Because they're the academic school. Like that's their bit, right?
What?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
That's their chant. Mm-hmm. Georgia Tech is a team that's missing just a couple of pieces to be a powerhouse. Like you said, they took teams that they had no right being even in the same stadium with to the limit. I can't pick against Georgia Tech in this game, even with my SEC bias. And Vandy shocked people this year. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But Georgia Tech is one of those teams that if you give them this much room, they're going to blow your doors off.
Oh yeah. I think we all just are still in shock by the fact that they beat Alabama this year, and they haven't beat Alabama in God knows since like 1900s. And it's just like, you know what I mean? Like I feel like everybody's
probably still in the pond, and they're just going to leave it there.
Yeah, like they're just riding that wave, and it's like Vandy's really, I don't know, Vandy's not that good. So anyway.
Your primetime games on the 27th start at 6 o'clock on ESPN. The AutoZone Liberty Bowl from Simmons Bank Liberty Stadium in Memphis. Arkansas and Texas Tech. Done.
Let's take Texas Tech on this one. It'll be close, but I'll take Texas Tech.
Ziggy?
And essentially a home game for Arkansas because Memphis is not that far from Arkansas. Memphis is literally across the lake, throw a rock. I'm also going Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech really got a bad rap this year. They've had some bad injuries at the beginning of the season, but when they're clicking, they blow teams out. Every single time I've seen Texas Tech play a game, they have dismantled their team. So like UNT and all, like, yeah. So I don't know. Arkansas is not that good. Yeah, I'm going Texas Tech as well.
I'm going Arkansas, but I think this is going to be one of the better games to watch.
Yeah.
This will be this because a lot of times you watch a bowl game and you're just like, okay, is this thing over yet? This is one of those bowl games that I think we're going to watch and have a good time with because these are two teams, like you said, Texas Tech is one of those teams that depends on which Texas Tech shows up. Arkansas is the same way. And I think that you've got a bunch of kids on both of these teams that are trying to show somebody something. Primetime 7 o'clock on Fox will be the DirecTV Holiday Bowl from Snapdragon Stadium in San Diego, California. Washington State takes on Syracuse. By the way, Alex already also has Arkansas. Ziggy, go.
So I don't like teams from the East Coast traveling to the West. This is kind of in that realm. I like Syracuse. They got some dog in them. But I just traveling teams don't do well. I just don't like Washington State. You know what? I'm riding with Syracuse. I can't. I just can't do it. Syracuse coach doesn't shower after he loses, so I just got to ride with. I got to ride with my guy from Syracuse. He a dog. So I think they're gonna win and get on the right road. Get on the, Yeah.
Don.
Will it be tougher this year? So I agree. I think Syracuse will. I think Syracuse will win this one. Yeah, it'll be. It won't be close. Maybe by 7-10 points. I think.
Alex also has Syracuse. I'm going the other way. It's that logic. And Alex has the same logic too. East Coast going to the West Coast.
It's tough.
And Washington State is one of those teams that nobody talks about, but probably should talk about at least a little bit more. 9:30 p.m. The SRS Distribution Las Vegas Bowl from Allegiant Stadium. Texas A&M takes on USC. Don.
Oh, and this one's going to be close too. I think I'm going to take the Aggies. I think Aggies, Texas, them trying to prove, SEC, like you say, your SEC bias.
Listen, I wish I could cuss on this show because I would say F Lincoln Riley. USC, listen, USC hasn't lived up to the hype since Caleb left or, before Caleb left, really. Aggies are mad that they got beat by Texas. I think one thing that we all have to consider too in taking these picks, or if you're making these bets and things like that, who's playing and who's not playing. So SEC has been known for, like, besides the Vandy's, the Arkansas, Kentucky's, things like that. SEC has been known for not playing their starters in bowl games because they're either going to the NFL draft or they don't care enough and they don't want to risk injury. This, I think, will be a little different. I'm going Aggies, not because I like them because I can't stand College Station, but I just don't believe in USC. They're really lackluster. They let Notre Dame just beat on them, like, physically, mentally, emotionally, like, spiritually. Like, they just let Notre Dame just
their lunch money, pretty much.
Right, yeah, they just walked all over them, and I don't really believe in Notre Dame that great. And USC just hasn't looked. They just look like they're gonna figure out ways to lose the game. They want to lose the game.
Nobody fears USC anymore. They just don't. They haven't in a long time. Now, I will say USC was one half of one of the greatest college football games I've ever watched when they played that national championship with Texas. And I told Vince Young that when I interviewed him. But nobody fears USC. And the one thing that A&M does have going for it, they have the original Freebirds. Outside of that, but it's going to be A&M.
Yeah.
USC's, this is not going to be fun. December 28th, 10 a.m. on the ESPN, the Wasabi Fenway Bowl from Fenway Park in Boston, Massachusetts, because when I think wasabi, I think Boston. UConn, North Carolina. Ziggy.
This is kind of dumb. I don't know. UNC's garbage. They blow games. Speaking of Georgia Tech, they blowing games left and right. The UConn is garbage as well. This is like flip a coin. I'm going to take UNC because the UNC players are going to show Bill Belichick, who's going to be their new coach, why they deserve to be on the team, and I'm going to take UNC.
Don.
I'm taking this is
the 90-minute show.
I'm going to take the Tar Heels.
I am going to be the lone dissenter here. The only bet I would take on this game is the over-under on how many times they show Bill Belichick on camera. Like that. This will be the most watched North Carolina game in 10 years.
That is a hell of a prop bet. I hope to God they have it like they had the Taylor Swift on there. Oh, my God. That is a hell of a prop bet. I cannot wait. If they have that,
it's coming. It is.
I'm slamming the over. Whatever it is, I'm slamming the over because they
54.5.
No, he's talking about the number of times that they'd show Bill Belichick on camera.
Bill Belichick.
I don't think that prop bet's up because they just signed the contract like 3 hours.
Listen, that's going up tomorrow. You know, Vegas is going to go crazy with this. And I'm taking the over because, it's going to be on ESPN too, right? Yeah.
That game is on the ESPN, yes, because an hour later on ABC, across town there, their rivals, the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl from Yankee Stadium, Boston College and Nebraska.
I got a question on that last game, though. Will Belichick be coaching, or is he starting next year?
No, he won't be until next year, but he'll be there.
Okay.
Don, Nebraska, Boston College. What you thinking?
I'm gonna take. I take Boston College. I always like Nebraska. They've always been the team that's been there, but I'm gonna take Boston College on this one.
Ziggy.
Listen, both of these coaches, Matt Rule or is it Matt Rule still? Yeah, it's Matt Rule.
I think it is. I think you're right.
Yeah, and then my boy, who I also want to take OU's coach job is at Boston College. Oh my God, Bill O'Brien.
I believe you talked about that when we had the thing a couple months ago at Smoky Road.
I really like Bill O'Brien, what he's done at Boston College. However, Nebraska kind of I'm gonna go Boston College here. This is gonna be essentially almost a home game for them. Nebraska they've limped into this game. They limped into this. I don't think that they're not ready yet. They're not there yet. One more year.
I'm going to be the contrarian here just because I can. Nebraska actually looked better than they had any right to this year. I think the anti-Boston sentiment in the Bronx will be very, very loud. But Doug Flutie ain't walking through that door. That's all I'm saying.
Valid.
All right. 1:15 p.m. on the ESPN, the Isleta, New Mexico Bowl from University Stadium in Albuquerque. TCU and Ooh La La. Ziggy.
TCU versus who?
Louisiana. Ooh La La.
No, I just Ooh La La. I'm gonna take Ooh La La. Listen, TCU again. I don't know how they got into a bowl game. I'm shocked that they're even in.
There's 170 of them.
Yeah, right. I mean, still, the Raging Cajuns are fast, furious, and they don't have Vin Diesel. And I'm taking them to go ahead and gas up their program on this bowl game. I don't trust TCU. This isn't far for either of them to travel, and Ooh La La has been putting up some damn points. Putting up some points.
You're good there, Don.
I think TCU is going to win this game outright.
That's Alex and I as well. Both have taken TCU. They're just one of those teams that you just can't count out, even though you want to really, really bad sometimes, especially when you have an engineer that's a big TCU fan that you have to talk trash with, which we don't. We love Ren. We miss Ren. 2:30 on your ABC affiliate. I hate this bowl.
Why?
This bowl makes me uncomfortable.
Pop-Tarts are great.
Right, but when the Pop-Tart goes into the thing and then comes out and they eat the Pop-Tart, it's just creepy. There's one that's worse, and we'll get to that here in a minute. But, the Pop-Tarts bowl.
Where's your shirt?
Yeah, Don, it's Christmas time. I do have a shirt. Don bought me a shirt for Christmas.
The Pop-Tart bowl shirt.
From Camping World Stadium, Miami of Florida versus Iowa State. Ziggy.
So I've heard rumors and I saw on social media that Cam Ward is going to play this game, and Respo is going to play this game as well. So I'm taking Miami just because Iowa State doesn't have that type of firepower. Although Miami's defense is terrible, and they will single-handedly help lose the game for Cam Ward and them.
And have.
Right. On 2 occasions now. I just feel like, their offense is going to be too much. That offensive line is physical as physical can get. And I don't think that Iowa State has enough firepower. I think they're still licking their wounds from Arizona State. So,
Don.
Miami on this one.
I am with Don on this. I know I'm not. Haha. Alex and I both have Iowa State. Iowa State is coming off a game that they're very angry about. And Miami is just not playing consistent enough football. As a kid growing up in that area and not being a Hurricanes fan, and the grief I took as a kid for being a Gator fan, especially going to a high school whose fight song, colors, and alma mater were all Florida State. Yeah, it was rough. Iowa State, I think they've got a chance in this. This will be another fun one to watch. I think there's going to be a lot of back and forth, but I think Iowa State winds up on top. 3:30 on CW. CW carrying a bowl this year. My favorite named bowl. The Snoop Dogg Arizona Bowl presented by Gin and Juice by Dre and Snoop. Please do not attend this game if your company's going to be drug testing you in the next week, because even go up.
Oh my God.
Arizona Stadium in Tucson. We have Miami of Ohio and Colorado State. Don.
On this one.
Do what?
Miami of Ohio.
Okay.
On this one.
Ziggy.
Same thing. Colorado State. I don't even know how they got in the bowl game. Jeez.
Because like I said, because there's 140.
Yeah, you're right. But they're terrible.
I'm going to go to Colorado State just because we may be at the point in this competition that I have to make up points.
Wait, time out. We're in a competition? No one told me we're in a competition.
Yeah, you get a point for every right prediction.
Oh my God. What do you win if you get all the points right?
Right now, it's just bragging rights because we do this every year. We also do a March Madness pool too, which we'll definitely have you on for that.
Yeah,
And by the way, you're welcome anytime. Normally we're on Thursdays, but this week I'm booked Thursday, Friday, and Saturday because my band's playing Saturday night at my church. But
nice.
You are welcome anytime.
I'll give you a photo of me.
Yeah.
Ziggy, you won. You rock.
He's done it before, Zig.
I have done it before.
All right. 4:45 p.m. on the ESPN. Oh no, we're still on the Snoop Bowl, aren't we? No, we all got the Snoop Bowl in.
The
Go Bowling Military Bowl from Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis, NC State and East Carolina. Zig, go. You froze up on me there from at your back.
Oh, man, yikes. Another horrible bowl game, but we're gonna go with NC State. NC State plays in a tougher conference. They've had to deal with tougher competition, and they've held their own. East Carolina, I mean, come on, stop it.
Don.
I love my Pirates, especially the Pittsburgh, but not these one. I think the Wolfpack's going to get this one.
That's a clean sweep. Gotta give them back love. But dear friend of mine went to East Carolina, but yeah, no, hard pass. Prime time on the 28th, 6:30 p.m. on ABC. The Valero Alamo Bowl from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Colorado, and BYU. Don.
I'm going to take BYU on this one. I don't like the hype of I love Colorado. I always love me at Buffaloes, and especially used to live in Denver for a while. I'm going to say BYU.
So I am a second. So Colorado's Deion Sanders is my guy. I've been rooting for them all year. On top of like Shador, Travis Hunter, Horn, Shiloh, and all that good stuff. But BYU they have something to prove. They feel like they kind of messed up in the Big 12. They should have clean sweep and won everything outright. They didn't see they thought after Utah was a wrap. They thought it was over. They didn't have, no problem. Look, I want Colorado to win this game, but I'm not going to be foolish. BYU is going to win this game.
Alex has taken Colorado. I have also taken BYU. I agree with Ziggy 100%. BYU is a team that they feel like they got something to prove.
Yeah.
And I do wonder, because there's really nothing on this, does Deion sit some of his guys?
That's what I'm saying. Like Shador, Travis, do they even play? If they don't play, then this might be a blowout. I might definitely take the over in BYU with the spread.
8:15 p.m. on the 28th on ESPN, the Radiance Technologies Independence Bowl from Independence Stadium in Shreveport. Army and We Are Marshall. Ziggy.
Army, all day. Army is going to annihilate everyone now because they have nothing but time and they felt like they should have been in the playoffs, even though they got dismantled by Notre Dame. Yeah, I'm taking Army. Army against lackluster competition has looked great, except for one game. I think it was UTSA. But other than that, they've been hot, on fire. I'm gonna take them, and I might take them to cover.
Don.
Yeah, I think they wanted to have something to prove, and since they had that loss, knocked them out of the playoffs. I think they'll clobber Marshall. They'll clobber them.
That's a clean sweep. Because again, I'm not picking against the Service Academy. Sorry. Then we go to the 30th of December at 1:30 Central. On the ESPN, the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl from Nissan Stadium in Nashville, Tennessee, at least for the next couple of years, as Mizzou takes on Iowa. Don.
I think Mizzou will win. It'll be close, but I don't think it'll be a blowout like 15, 20 points. But I think Missouri wins.
Ziggy.
Mizzou, I'm going to disagree. I think Mizzou's going to absolutely dismantle Iowa. Iowa can't – they play ground pound, 10 points wins you the game. They are literally like the perfect example of Big Ten football in the past, and they don't score. They got a pretty good defense. I think Mizzou was kind of taken by surprise by the SEC. They thought it'd be a little bit easier with the talent they had, and I think we all forget the type of talent they have because they lost a lot of games. They lost a few more games than we expected in the SEC. They were dealing with injuries. They're not dealing with them anymore. I think Mizzou is going to absolutely handle Iowa. They can't keep up with them.
Iowa is not Iowa State. It's a clean sweep. It's that simple. All right, just a couple more here because we're going to do the quarterfinals, the semifinals, and the finals as we get closer to those dates. But let's go to New Year's Eve at 11 a.m. on the ESPN, the Relia Quest Bowl from Raymond James Stadium, Michigan, Alabama. Ziggy.
Listen, Michigan, they won their Super Bowl. They don't really care. They don't have really much to play for, and they're a lot like the Iowa team. They don't really score a lot of points. They proved that against Ohio State. Alabama, though, Milroe and Ryan Williams, if they play, this is a big, it's a big if for Milroe. I think Williams is going to play. But if they play, they got to prove some things. Milroe's got to get his draft stock up. If he's going to enter the draft, this is the time to do it. And this is, I think, Alabama wins this game. It's going to be closer to their house than anything. And, yeah, I think Alabama's going to, they're going to, we should have been in the playoffs. SEC tears.
Don.
That's the thing. Alabama's going to be, screaming that they never got in, and we're going to have to prove a point. So I think they'll try whatever they can on this. So I'll take Bama on this one. Because Michigan's like, yeah, we beat Ohio State. That's all we care about.
That's it.
Alex also has Alabama. I do not. Michigan is scrappy. And they are now the reason that the state of Ohio is talking about making flag planting a felony.
What crybaby?
I saw it today on I think it was on Around the Horn. Maybe it was on PTI. But I was like, are you kidding me? A felony?
I can't believe that he and put he put OHIO something act, and I can't remember the name of that part. That's how Ohio has nothing else to do. Like, you ain't got nothing else to do if you're making up a rule about college football flag play. Man.
But I will tell you the one thing Ohio
has. They put a flag on the football field?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, dear Lord.
The one thing Ohio does has, and this is the hill I will die on. If you're ever up in Ohio, find a place called Melt. It's a grilled cheese restaurant. It is. They have a thing called it's called the Godfather, and it's like a full piece of lasagna in a grilled cheese sandwich. I'm not playing with you.
Damn,
it's for real.
Wow.
Right. When I used to have to go up there for an old job, they were like, "We know when Rob's coming, we have to go to Melt because it's the thing." I'm like, "Yeah, you do." Melt is the jam, dude. Oh, it's so good.
Okay, we might have to make a trip up to Ohio. Yeah, Where in Ohio?
You're all over like Columbus, that whole area.
Okay.
Because I think they've actually got one in Cleveland Indian Stadium. I think they do. At one point they did.
Okay.
1:00 p.m. on New Year's Eve on CBS. The Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl, which I have a pin for. It's right over there. Don got me. In El Paso, Louisville, Washington. Don.
This will be a close one, but I'm going to take Washington on this, even though they have the worst record. I just think that they just got something to give them over Louisville.
Ziggy?
I'm curious as to know what you think they have over Louisville, because Louisville is scrappy. Louisville is fighters. They might plant a flag in El Paso just because they want to fight. So I don't know. Louisville, to me, they're a little more physical. Washington, I've seen them a couple times, and they just look very. They ain't been the same since Michael Penix left. I'm taking Louisville.
Alex is with Don. I'm with Ziggy. Louisville's just one of those teams that you forget they're there until they're there.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. They're just that team that's like
in the face when they're there.
And Charlie Strong should have stayed in Florida and gotten the head coaching job. But that's a whole different issue for a whole other time. 2:00 p.m. on ABC, the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl, the third bowl from Camping World Stadium in Orlando, South Carolina, Illinois. Ziggy.
This is actually going to be a really good game. Illinois, if you know Illinois football, Illinois has been really, really good against the spread. If you know, South Carolina has also been really good against the spread. I'm talking from a gambler standpoint, but South Carolina honestly could have an argument. If Alabama would have got in, South Carolina could have had an argument as well, because South Carolina has been playing really good second half of the season football. I'm gonna take a close South Carolina win.
Don.
I'm gonna take. I think South Carolina will win this. Not too hard.
Another clean sweep. At 2:30 p.m. on ESPN, the Kinder's Texas Bowl from NRG Stadium in Houston. LSU and Baylor. Don.
This will be a very, very close one. I think Baylor's going to win it, though.
Ziggy?
What? You think Baylor's going to – okay, LSU, baby. LSU, go Tigers. Listen, Brian Kelly might essentially be coaching for his job in this game. Agree. They are trying to put his head on a stake in Louisiana. They feel they got LSU, go Tigers, go Tigers.
Although Baylor has one of the greatest trolls of all time, LSU's going to dismantle them. Like, this is a team that's kind of on a mission right now. They realize that they should not be on the downside of the cycle, and they are. And this is the wake-up call. It has to be for LSU. All right, let's get into the court. We will do the quarterfinals today because we have some of those predictions. Quarterfinal game. Actually, no, hold on. Hold the phone. Yeah, we're going to hold off on those because we're going to get there. We'll do those in a couple of weeks. All right, let me see where we're going to go. Let's go to January 2nd at 6:30 p.m. Central on ESPN, the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl from Jacksonville, Florida, at Everbank Stadium. Ole Miss takes on Duke. Ziggy.
Duke's quarterback entered the transfer portal. I don't know if he's going to play this game. If he's not, Ole Miss is going to. Lane also is coaching for his job because he promised a lot and he didn't do everything he was supposed to do. He thinks the SEC is in a league with the NFL, so he's got to coach and prove that. Ole Miss will win this in essentially another close to home game.
Don.
I think that Ole Miss will win this pretty not easy, but I think it won't be a close one. So I say Ole Miss.
Alex has Ole Miss. I'm going the other way. Ole Miss is a team this year that you only heard about them when they upset somebody, which really tells you what you need to know about Ole Miss.
Valid.
January the 3rd at 3 p.m. in our Fairburg, the Serve Pro First Responder Bowl from Gerald J. Ford Stadium, formerly the Cotton Bowl. Still kind of is, if you ask me. North Texas and Texas State, Don.
I think Texas State will win this one.
You're rolling with unnecessary roughness?
Yes, exactly. I'm going to go with them. I think they'll win by a touchdown.
Ziggy.
This is basically a home game for UNT. Listen, UNT kind of showed me something against a couple teams. This is kind of a weird game. I'm gonna take North Texas. I'm gonna take UNT. Mean Green, baby.
We are split down the middle. Alex has Texas State. I have North Texas. Again, like you said, this is a home game for North Texas.
Right.
And North Texas is another team. They're great or they're not. I do give them respect because their student section, their stadium is designed like the tail of an eagle.
Yeah.
So 6:30 p.m. that night, the other bowl that once it's over, I will click away from it because their post-game tradition creeps me out. The Duke's Mayo Bowl from Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina. Virginia Tech takes on Minnesota in a game somebody's going to win in that stadium. Ziggy.
I'm curious. I don't know the Mayo Bowl. Let me guess. They eat mayo out of a jar?
No, at the end, instead of a Gatorade bath, it's a mayonnaise bath. I'm out.
Oh, that is disgusting.
Yeah.
What?
No, thank you.
All right. Well,
Rob.
I am allergic, so don't send it to me. I'm gonna go Minnesota. Reason being, even though this is gonna be close to like a home game, Minnesota has played a lot of their teams in the Big Ten very close. They're coached very well, and Virginia Tech is, again, I don't know how they even got in a bowl game. They limped in this, so yeah.
Don.
I gotta go for the Gophers on this one.
The Golden Gophers.
Gophers, yeah. I just like that. Sounds fun.
And that's where Rick Blair went to college.
Woo!
And finally, before we do the next one in a couple of weeks, at 10 a.m. on January 4th, on both ESPN and The Deuce, the Bahamas Bowl, which usually leads the season for some reason, the Thomas A. Robinson National Stadium in Nassau, Buffalo, and Liberty. Don.
I'm going to take Buffalo.
Ziggy.
I'm going to take Liberty, actually. Liberty, kind of one of those things, like Liberty should have gotten a fair shake at a better bowl. Everybody had them in the playoff conversation, and all that good stuff. I think they started to smell their own, themselves a little bit towards the middle of the season or towards the end when they lost. I think they'll right the ship this game, and they'll remind everybody why they should possibly be in the playoffs next year.
Number one, I hate all things Buffalo, except the name of the stadium because my company has naming rights. 2, Alex cannot stand Liberty University.
What?
When he's picking Liberty, I can't not pick Liberty because he obviously knows something I don't hear. Because that man, if you gave him the choice of doing anything involved with Liberty University or giving birth to a porcupine on fire, he's taking the second option. So if he's picking Liberty, something's going on there. That's all I'm saying.
Just don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if Liberty blows them out. Don't be surprised.
All right, so that's all of our picks. We're going to keep you posted on our social media. So hit that QR code up there in the corner so you can follow us on all your social medias. We'll give you updates as they happen. Ziggy, we cannot thank you enough for hanging out, but give us 1 second because we're going to do the plugs. All that stuff is there, but if you want to follow me on your social medias, everything is Yes That Rob Irvin. That is spelled ERVIN. This Saturday night, Round Pen Cowboy Church in Terrell, Grace Descending, back together for the first time in 5.5 years. It's going to be insane. 7 o'clock. Come join us. Ziggy, give your plugs. Go.
At Beer 30 Sports o'clock. That is pretty much everywhere on the handles. As far as YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Listen, I will be doing a lot more tailgating for the bowl games. Matter of fact, 1 or 2 of those, like I said, I'll most likely be at the Frisco one too. I'll be at the one that's at Gerald Ford Stadium as well. So yeah, look, Beer 30 Sports o'clock everywhere, and that's BEER 30 Sports. Oh, no apostrophe, clock, common spelling. I didn't know. I should have put mine up there on the. I didn't even realize it. But anyway, listen, I had a great time picking with you guys. Can I get my picks sent to me so that I know how many I won and lost? Because absolutely. I would like to send Don a picture as well. If I win, I want to send him a picture of myself and being like, "Who's your daddy?"
Absolutely. Stay on once we get off air and we'll go through all that.
Sure. Yes, sir.
Rob, can you put on our social media site like Facebook the link so they could do the bracket pick also?
I will have Alex do that in the morning.
Okay, yeah, because I was trying to find the comment, I was trying to look in there to see where's that. I had a little trouble, so
okay, I'll talk to Alex first thing in the morning.
Okay, but no, if you want to get some awesome shirts that make me look good, go over to prowrestlingtees.com/cheappodcast. At Twitter, I'm at Igbunu, IGBNUU. It's written right there. And also, if you want this madness at your place, email me, Don, at clubhousepodcast.com.
We love doing live remote shows. Email Don on that. You can email me questions, comments, concerns. Tell me to go pound sand. I am Rob at theclubhousepodcast.com. Excuse me. And if you're looking for that perfect Christmas gift, why don't you give somebody a membership to Sunset Lounge DFW? Because you get this show, you get Ziggy's show, you get so much more. We have some of the most fantastic people on the planet on this network, as you've probably seen, because if you're watching this, you're a member. So share it with everybody. And we've got some tiered memberships. We just did our second SGP mystery movie, and it's a doozy. That's all I'm saying. Our normal show every Thursday night, which will be back to abnormal next week, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, is your one-stop shop for all things sports, entertainment, pop culture, and pro wrestling. So until next week, for Ziggy, for Don, for Alex, for the Empire, I'm Rob. Clubhouse is closed, and Brittany Palmer put out a very interesting question on social media this week. We'll see if it gets answered.
This is a Stolen Water Media production.